Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back. I also wanted to welcome back all of my brand new subscribers and anyone who's randomly coming across this video. It's so great to have you guys. So today's video is going to cover everything about bearded dragon hygiene. Let's get to it. So when it comes to taking care of your dragon and their hygiene, there are two main factors, one of which has to do with bathing and the other one has to do with keeping their surroundings clean, which would be their enclosure and everything that's within their enclosure. So number one would be bathing the dragon. I actually have a video on this that I did about 3 years ago, and there are a lot of things that I don't do now. So here are some of the things that are a little bit more up to date. First and foremost, you always want to make sure this water is room temperature. If you would not put a newborn baby in that water, do not put your dragon in that water. They are reptiles, but it can still be too hot for them. And when you are judging the height of the water, make sure that you're judging the height by their size instead of where your hand falls, like I did in the last video. So you don't want it to go any higher than their elbows or their stomach, but mostly their elbows. If they're shedding, then maybe let it go up to their stomach. For Nyx, have definitely filled it up higher, but that's because she likes to dunk her head and swim and try to do all of that when she's shedding. So I let her do that and have higher water during those times, but generally don't let it go above their elbows. Now, when it comes to actually cleaning the dragons, say they get caked on poo or something, you definitely want to make sure they don't have poo that stays on them, because you can have all sorts of illnesses. So you definitely want to bathe them, and most people just use a soft bristle toothbrush and warm water to get it off, and sometimes that does the job, but a lot of the time you still have a smell. But when it comes to my dragons, I don't like to have a smell. I personally use an all-natural soap that I made myself. It has all of these natural unrefined oils in it that helps with shedding, so you don't have a grumpy lizard during that time, and you don't have a smelly lizard either. If you have caked on poo that gets under the scales, or say you get fruit that's all up in the scales and you can't get it off, this is really good for that. You just want to make sure you don't submerge them and they don't eat it or anything like that. And when it comes to bathing, of course, a lot of people ask, how many times a week do I bathe them? So when it comes to how long you bathe them as well, about 10 to 15 minutes is best. 20 minutes if they need a deep soak and they have some stuck shed or something like that, or maybe they're shedding and need a little bit of extra time. Baths are also good for allowing them to drink water. Most of them, you won't see them drink water in the tank, and this is not a bad thing. It's actually good for them to get most of their water in their diet through greens and bugs, but the bath gives them that extra allowance of water. It also allows them to have a bowel movement if they need to, because some dragons actually only do this in the bath or sink, wherever you may do it. I would, however, recommend for your dragon, if they are a little bit antsy in the shower with the water, just keep in mind that they can't actually see the water unless it's moving. So it's this force that they can't see that's moving them around. So it's a little bit terrifying. So in order to calm them down a little bit, having a rock or something that they can lean on, or some texture on the bottom. If it's a baby, maybe a towel or washcloth in the sink to give them a little bit of traction so they're not flailing around and freaking out. If it's an adult dragon, maybe giving them a rock or something that doesn't keep them out of the water but allows them to have a base of support. So just a little tip. The second would be cleaning the tank and tank accessories. So I actually have a video on this that I created last year, and I still stand by this video. There's nothing wrong with this video. I just changed the products that I used when it comes to cleaning my tank and tank accessories. So when it comes to cleaning all of my bowls or carpets, hammocks and huts and all of that stuff, I use my eco-friendly cleaner. It is a little bit sudsy, so you want to have like a wet cloth with it, but I use this because its main base ingredient is coconut, which has natural acidity that helps clean, and it's safe to be around your animals, and it's safe to use in food dishes without any irritants or any risk of harm to them. And I made this specifically for the hardest waste messes, so those really runny poos that are in carpets and stuff like that, just really nasty stuff. So you have a nice, pleasant, light scent afterwards, but it gets the job done and gets everything out of it. And when it comes to actually cleaning the tank, I just use my heavy duty cleaner. This one actually has coccidial disinfectant mixed inside of it, and it has some of the same ingredients that vets has used from Veterinary F10. And I use this about twice a month in all of their tanks. You want to make sure that you have them out of the tanks and you let everything dry for a little while before you put them back into the tank. Of course, don't forget to spot clean. They're gonna have messages about daily when it comes to eating or food debris or feces, waste, whatever it is. Having a mini vacuum, I will put the link down in the description for you. That thing is a godsend. It is a whole lifesaver. You don't have to go in there and sweep. You can just take that little vacuum and shoot. And it's the easiest cleanup ever. Of course, you don't want to vacuum up poo because that will make things even messier and nastier, but definitely for when it comes to shedding or anything else. Beautiful godsend. But that is all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you're still here, be sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to check out my website at www.lizardguru.com for things for you and your lizard that you won't find anywhere else. Also be sure to check out my second channel at Alex's Random Entertainment. It has more adult comedy, if you will, so be sure to keep that in mind. It has a lot of animated stories and stuff like that. So that's all I have for you guys. Be sure to stay tuned to the end for extra reptilian bloopers and lizard footage. And as always, from my family to yours, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye. And now it's time for this channel's first ever end of video story time. It was one of those stories that was just too funny not to share, so I hope you enjoy. So I had agreed to take in my uncle's normal bearded dragon named Echo and his Indo-Chinese box turtle named Cheeseburger for about a week and a half. I mean, I was super excited to get these babies, and my first morning was a little bit interesting. I was met with this. You know, all animals are beautiful and everything, and you know, all made in their own little image. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this is a beautiful creature, but this is the only image I got after seeing this that morning. So this is the next morning with her, and I noticed that her and Aether kind of had a little dynamic going where they would just antagonize each other all day long. Then we come to this moment right here where I'm telling her good morning, and the response she gives me is just so freaking priceless. Watch. The next day I asked my uncle about baths and he said they loved them. Well, yeah, definitely looks like she loves it all right. Really loving it there. Next up we have Nixie here, just trying out her new roam tent. This is something that I will definitely be bringing when we adventure outside. And then back to Grumpy Shell over here, just basically messing with my boyfriend. He had a whole dynamic over here, and then she just basically started to chase him around the whole apartment. I don't know why she was chasing him around, but you know, this is just kind of how our day went for a little while. Then she found me and started to get real interested in what I was doing and the camera, and definitely got a bit too close for comfort, but you know, she was just doing her little turtle thing, being a majestic turtle, doing turtle things. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I really couldn't tell you. Hey, what's up again, you guys? So I wanted to take a minute to convey this message right here, which I had a hard time conveying at the beginning, and this is just no makeup, very minimal editing, straightforward message to you guys, being as real as I possibly can and as transparent as I possibly can. So basically what I've been trying to do is I have been looking back at my old videos, and normally I don't do that, and I hadn't done that in a really long time, but looking at some of those older videos, I noticed that I came off really harsh in some of those videos. For example, if you have an issue during the night with heating, you need a ceramic heat light. Red lights are harmful to your dragon and you should not be using them. This is very, very important. You need
a UVB tube light. It is the only one that is going to be sufficient enough for your dragon.
You see what I'm saying? So I wasn't trying to be mean in these videos. I just am very passionate about lizard things, and when I'm passionate about things, sometimes I come off very aggressively. In the reptile community, of course, there's a lot of different conflicting views, and with certain animals, they can live and survive under a lot of different types of care, so there's always going to be people combating each other on this care is the best, no, this care is the best, and it's just an ongoing thing, and it's confusing for everybody. I also wanted to redo some of these videos because some of the information has changed over the years. We are constantly evolving and getting new information because of research and scientific studies and all of that, so it's always good to reapply that, and I love looking back and see how we've evolved, and I love looking back and seeing how I've evolved. This is the first of a few videos that I want to redo with dragons. Then of course I'm going to do other videos on other reptiles because I have gotten new lizards and I really am so excited for you guys to meet them. So yeah, that's really all I have for you today. I plan to get a lot more consistent with posting videos as well. I apologize about not doing that. It has truly been a roller coaster the past 2 years on my end, and I really just wanted to say I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I appreciate you guys for all of the support. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. Without y'all, I really wouldn't even be the lizard guru, would I? So I love y'all, and as I said before again, I hope you have a wonderful week. Mwah!